Oh
You
yeah,
just sent me a link, so
it's much
it
much.
must be it must be a shit show you're inviting me. So
Of course. Why the hell else would I invite you to something nice and calm and
yeah.
civil and shit? Uh,
Every time
so,
I'm having like crazy cracked out
okay,
singularity guy.
okay.
Oh,
Now
here
you're
we go.
muffled.
Okay, now I'm sounding muffled.
Yeah. Now you're not. But just a second ago you were.
Oh, okay. It's the microphone on this phone. I still got to figure it out, but
Now it's
it
fine.
won't work. Yeah. Okay.
So,
I just,
yeah. Carl was explaining how Anthem was really like secretly Nazi because they use a red and black flag, and red and black is used by the Nazis in their.
red and black were used by the anarchists like decades before the Nazis were even a thing.
Well, it's. I mean, yeah, I already knew that, but like, I mean,
Yeah.
I tried to find some other things that were, uh, there are plenty of U.S. military units and Navy and Marines, Army, and British
Yeah.
that use the red and black colors. I have a video that I was toying with putting up, going through some of them. Did you know that the X-Men were also not Nazis?
Oh my God. It's just
Well, they have a red and black logo.
right. So
Yeah,
that make
they're Nazis, right?
yeah.
uh,
But black is so slimming though. That's
Black, yeah, yeah, there is that. I mean, uh,
and red's a power color, when you're going to your business meeting. That's what, So I guess you're a Nazi if you wear a black suit and a red tie.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've done that. I've done that. So clearly, I'm a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what
Fucking Carl. I
he's
did not watch the video, but he's saying Antifa is secretly fascist because they wear the red and black.
yeah.
Then explain to me why I can't remember why people fighting on the Republican side in the Civil War were fighting fascists with the red and black banner because there were anarchists fighting Francisco Franco.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Explain that one to me.
Well, it's because we're secretly Nazis. I got this like the X-Men. I mean, clearly, it's a fucking thing. Also, there are a couple of there's a couple of units in the there's a unit that does the special I forget what they're called. They do they
American,
yeah, a US unit that does that works on black projects, what they call black projects.
right?
That
So
there's
like some Delta Force tier type shit.
yeah, some shit like that. And
Yeah.
then there's a Navy SEAL unit that has
Oh, I know what they are. They're like it's a reconnaissance unit.
I think so. Then there's
I
uh
know who you're talking about. They're like multi-service too.
I think now
So
I
you'd
think
have yeah, so you'd find Marines and Army.
right and soldiers, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a an airborne unit that uses a red and black logo.
Uh
Um, it's like
again, very
it's,
slimming. You don't
yeah,
want your soldiers looking fat,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, it's
Jesus
fucking hilarious.
Christ, I can't.
And by the way, and I had forgotten this because I read it once and like almost 20 years ago now, right?
Uh,
In Mein Kampf, Hitler talks about this, and he says that they specifically chose the red and black uh, to fuck with the communists. I think, right? He didn't
yeah,
say,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, he didn't put it
Like you
so.
had the yeah, well, no, and there's also well, this is a thing too. There was correspondence between Fat Boy Goering and another guy, some fucking flunky, and they put socialists in their name to troll the actual socialists
All the actual socialists, yeah.
and to lie to people. Yeah, we're socialists. We don't. Yeah.
Hey, Yvette in the chat says, "Why is Sargon still a thing?" Because he keeps trying to be.
Yeah, like I said, Joe caught me by surprise. I don't even pay attention to him unless it
Yeah.
shows
No.
up in my timeline, like on Twitter, and
Yeah,
then it's usually for a laugh. No, it's like,
yeah, no, he
because this shit's funny. Now I gotta go. Now you're gonna go make me watch a Sargon video. I'll get you for that later.
It's okay. I got a lot to say. Although
that shit sounds fucking hilarious.
Hey, wait, because Black Pigeon Speaks' logo is red and black.
Oh shit!
So I guess he's a Nazi.
Yeah,
I'm good because my logo. I picked the way that I designed the dragon logo. The dragon itself is from an old Japanese wood block print. I didn't draw that. I can't draw that well. But I
red
picked
and
the
black.
arrow.
You Nazi.
Yeah, that's right. I picked the red and black bullseye and the arrow specifically because I am a Nazi.
Yeah.
And an anarchist also. I don't even know. I honestly I don't know.
Yeah, or a communist, who knows? But yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I thought the commies were pinkos, and I don't know. They use pink. I'm just not sure anymore.
Yeah, who knows? All colors of the wheel.
Yeah.
Okay. By that logic, isn't the flag of Kyrgyzstan an Islamist flag then? Because it's green.
Not only that, it's also a racist flag because the flag of Rhodesia.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's the one that people keep confusing for a Kyrgyzstan flag.
Yeah, that's true. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, and some of
doesn't the Rhodesian flag have? No, that's Kenya. I was thinking. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
the one with the shield and the spears at. That's Kenya.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
But yeah, I mean, if you just put in like red, black insignia into the Google machines, you will see just how many evil Nazis there are on Earth. They're overtaking the fucking planet somehow. And
yeah, I guess the Nazis actually won.
Yeah, they actually won. I mean, I kind of hope that Carl is, just trolling and shit, but
well, you can't tell anymore.
But you can't tell, right? So I assume you're serious because you're supposed to be a grown up. So oh god. But how have you know?
It depends on if you've got him almost pinned to the wall.
Yeah,
you got him almost. If you somehow just can't compete with the argument, or it's something very plain, then he's being an adult. But if you pin his ass to the wall, then all of a sudden, it's just a troll, bruh. It's just memes, bruh.
Oh fuck. But even more important than that is, and I've been fucking with him for the whole weekend, is Dave Cullen's
yes.
Dave Cullen's Nazi hoedown. That's what I mean.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Just piss him off. I trolled him a little bit too because they were using the Kilroy graffito.
Which isn't that like a GI thing, like an Allied?
Yeah, that was in World War II, and it would just appear anywhere. Did you know it appeared on the hull of one of the boats after the Bikini Atoll test?
Really?
Yeah, somebody had painted it, presumably before the test, and when the ship rolled over, it had Kilroy was here on it.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was like everywhere.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was a GI thing. It was mostly in the European theater, although you'd see it in the Pacific too.
How ironic that the neo-Nazi hoedown symbol is a GI symbol.
But what is that? What does a graffito have to do with free speech?
You got me. Although I do know that because it's this underground cultural thing. I guess.
I get most of the fucking. I bet you he doesn't even know the fucking origin of it.
No, probably not. I mean, it's not like we're dealing with a brainiac here. So
No.
his somebody. Not based mama, I think is the @ on Twitter.
Yeah.
Was playing the race card on me.
Oh.
Like, like you're fucking with Dave and blah blah blah. And,
yeah.
And
He's such a retard. I
you
swear. But
Woolie's a bigot, and no, she said, wait. It was something like you can't use the race card on somebody who's like half Native American or whatever the hell it is. I don't know what the hell it was exactly. I just can't be bothered to check. And I'm sitting there like, God.
Amarants can be really racist.
You're muffled.
Oh, has that better?
No.
It'll go away in a minute.
Shut up.
There.
You were saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. She's and I said, because the Woolly Bumblebee said, well, somebody said, well, why don't you go to the Woolly Bumblebee? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And she saw it and she was like, all right, well, if you pay for my ticket coming and going, my stay, and a babysitter and all the rest, then I'll go. And then the other person was like, well, maybe we can do a crowd. Maybe we can crowdfund it. And she's like, well, I guess. And the dude said to her, and this is not Dave Cullen, this is some other dude. Was like, yeah, you can debate Sargon, and Willie Bone's like, wait a minute, it's free speech, right? I want an hour on my own platform to say what I want to say.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I thought, well, I mean, if you're gonna bill it as free speech, you can't really bitch about shit. So I tweeted Dave Cullen and I said, hey, can I use my free speech to let the locals know that you're coming? Free speech, buddy.
Where is it in Arizona? Where is it?
You're muffled.
God damn it.
It's happening in Phoenix.
Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah. It's at the Sheraton Hilton or something, I think. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Computing Mia calls him from Poo Poo Forever. So yes, he's having a free speech thing. Have you seen the lineup?
Oh, I just know that Sticks and Hammer guy I saw there.
Oh yeah, he's retweeting it and promoting it.
Yeah, he's a real bundle of joy.
That dude is not Ubermensch. I'm just gonna point that out. I mean, okay, maybe like the golden one, maybe, but this other dude,
I don't know. If you gave Sticks and Hammer a haircut with those little dweeby glasses, he kind of looks like Himmler. So,
yeah, but he kind of looks like
that kind of chinless, puckered mouth, kind of.
He kind of looks like he's
the master race. Like Fat Boy. Yeah, like Fat Boy Goering. Unibrow Rudolph Hess. Let's see who. Chicken Farmer Himmler. Or no, that was Goebbels.
Goebbels was the chicken farmer. But yeah, he's not exactly an impressive specimen, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are more impressive specimens other than the
oh yeah, well, it would be like the golden boy because he's so juicy.
Say that again.
It would be like the golden one because he's so juicy.
Oh, you're gonna have to shoot your mic. I'm telling you.
I am, because it wasn't happening before.
And so yeah, God
damn it. Oh well.
I'm figuring that I'm gonna go ahead and exercise my free speech over the course of the next week or so. Or perhaps
yeah. Well, who else was on the lineup?
Oh, let's see. Who else is in that lineup? I'm gonna pull up the
because June was June was boosting it, wasn't she?
I don't know. I don't know if she
I saw
was
some tweets from June. She was boosting it, I think.
What's the name of the site? Kilroy event or event Kilroy?
They're actually calling it that? No.
Kilroy event. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, KilroyEvent.com. And they are 48.1% towards their $85,000 goal.
Wow.
Yeah, they are almost halfway there.
This is only a couple of days ago, right? Or it's been 3-4 days. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple days ago, maybe 3 or 4. Blair White, Bunty King, Andy Worski, Carl, Jeff Holiday, Chris Worski, Matt Jarbo, some black guy, Rucka Ali, whoever the fuck that is, Roaming Millennium, Dave Cullen, TJ Kirk, Based Mama.
Okay, that's why there's a lot of money going into this. TJ is behind it. Yeah.
Yeah. Nicholas Goroff is going to be there.
Nick Goroff, yeah, Wizard of Cause.
I know that person.
Yeah.
Arthur Rhetorical Entertainment.
Never heard of him.
No, me neither. Brian Martinez, Mr. Repzion, Dmitry Krivoshenitzer.
Nope. I know who Repzion is, but nope.
Yeah, I know who Mr. Repzion is. He's like, oh my God, he now looks like he's a teenager. Fuck, Jesus, that dude is like, oh, geez, another not.
God, ain't he pushing 30 by now?
I don't know. I guess, but he don't look it. He looks like he's still like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Brian Edward, who is Mythicist MKE. Mrs. Mike? I don't know if he's got anything to do.
Mythicist Mike.
I know
who that is. Yeah, atheist guy.
Oh, yeah. Does he have something to do with the Mythicist Milwaukee?
I believe so, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Andrew Torba. Chris Ray Gunn. Tim Pool. Tim Pool,
Tim Pool. That ass clown. I know, journalist. Put some big ass square quotes around that.
Yeah. Nick Monroe, who I don't know. I don't know who that is. Luke Rudkowski, also someone I don't know. Oh, look, Brittany Pettibone.
Brittany Pettibone. Yay. Why aren't you having babies, Brittany?
Yeah, isn't she supposed to be pregnant and barefoot and in
the kitchen
somewhere? Make me a sandwich, bitch.
Tradcon for life.
Yeah, she's so cringy. She is. Ray Vahey, also don't know who that is, and Foxy Comedy. I think they added these in the last day or so.
Who?
Who's this?
Is this?
Who is this? Hey.
Hi.
So, you intending to? Are you intending to visit the what I'm calling?
Yeah, the Kilroy Free Speech Festival.
I don't know if I go. On the one hand, I don't think that the shitlords posse, who's so quick to call me names online, I honestly don't think that they have the courage to speak like that to me face to face. But on the other hand, like, what's the point? And on the other hand, it's like I finally get to face Dave Cullen and be like, dude, what the fuck? You acted like my friend for a week and then you disappeared.
Oh, he was at VidCon. That's right.
That's right. He was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So does this look like
he's probably too busy looking for commies hiding in the bushes outside his house.
The guy is a really nice guy. Like Carl Benjamin too. Like, they're really nice people.
Okay, they exude. I would say to you that they do what Bunty King said about Richard Spencer. They exude an aura of niceness, which is distinct from being a nice person. Like, I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
There's of the people that are on that roster that I just read off. Like, there's not a single one that I would just be like, oh yeah, come over to my house. We're having rice and beans and chicken or something. Come on over. You sit at my table. Like, no. So I can't class any of them as nice.
It's always the nice ones too. That actually sends when somebody's being too nice or puts a lot of effort into it. My little alarm bell goes off.
I hope your alarm bell is going off right now because I'm one of those Canadians that's too nice for their own good.
I didn't say there aren't nice people in it, but I'm saying people who try too hard.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I try so hard to be nice. Like, oh my God. And then like when the cameras turn off, I'm like a total bitch.
Okay. Well, that's your stage persona then. I can dig that.
I think that if there's anything to this this nature stuff versus nurture, Canadians are probably congenitally predisposed to being
Yeah.
I have yet to meet a mean Canadian. Well, maybe Buntigan, but I don't really know if he's mean or not. I know he's not that bright, but
he's just a fame whore.
Well, it's hard to be someone on Twitter. So Twitter's a big platform.
Well, he got banned from Twitter. What the hell happened with that? Because I don't really have that much.
No, I don't know, but I got a bunch of people to start saying that they did it.
Yeah.
I am Spartacus.
I don't understand. Right. I don't get it. Like, just if you don't like someone on Twitter, just mute them. Like, there's no need to go beyond that.
Yeah,
people on whatever side they're on are always going to do this shit. They did it on YouTube, the atheist versus Christian shit. And it's the nature of the beast. Just people are going to be assholes about it.
It's one of those things. I mute people from both sides. So there are some people that like, I won't name names, but there are some people that have been very nice, and then all of a sudden they say some crazy shit. And I don't mean crazy like, I guess there might be aliens. No, like crazy shit like, yeah, they're and then they tweet out the 14 words or some shit. Or all men are scum and should die. Like, whoa.
Yeah, then it gets, you go to Crazyville and you're all like, boop, nope.
Yeah, I just, I mean, unless I'm in the mood to fuck with you, which usually isn't the case actually, but unless I'm in the mood to fuck with you, I'll just mute you. Hell, I sometimes mute you. You know what? I understand that whole preemptive, like when people say, I don't know, they already muted me. Like, you know what it was? I'll tell you what it was. They saw some stupid shit that you said that they disagree with, right? From whatever side, right? They saw some shit that they disagreed with and thought was radically stupid, and they were just like, "Oh, look, someone I know I never want to talk to," and they muted your ass. You're not on some block list or something. They just, they saw you.
I'm on block lists that I have with people I've never interacted with either.
Yeah, so. That's happened to me too. Hell, I had never talked to Steve Shives before, and I was on his block list. So yeah.
Did you get unblocked?
Yeah. I talk to Steve now every so often. I don't think I think he gets a bad rap because he doesn't want to do exactly what everybody wants everybody else to do, which is like put up with your shit. You know what I'm saying?
I can understand where he's coming from, though I completely disagree with his attitude.
Oh
yeah, well, that's fair.
That's fair.
It's his ship. He can run it where he wants.
It's his social media. He should be allowed to do what he wants in the same way that nobody should be coming at me trying to tell me what content I should or should.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I do my social media the way I want to. You do it the way you want to, and we're all happy.
That's why I don't boo-hoo about being blocked. It's like, that's fine. That person doesn't want to have anything to do with me. I'll move on.
I'll add that to the 7.5 or whatever it is billion people that I'll never actually talk to or engage with at all.
Right. It's not like there's a shortage of people on the net.
Yeah. my timeline doesn't actually move. Then, oh my God, no one likes me. Like, I mean, yeah, people are not gonna like you. They don't like your politics, and you're loud about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So
get.
is this free speech thing just going to be boo-hooing about how private companies run their platforms?
I assume so, because I mean, look, somebody out there, I'm not gonna say who, thinks that white people are being genocided. So, you're gonna get this kind of conspiracy theory nonsense.
Right.
You're gonna get this kind of shit, right? And I don't see any. It's free speech, right? I don't see any legal scholars there.
No,
I'm just
because
saying.
it's a private company. Well, it's funny too, because I've heard this bullshit argument coming from all kinds of people every once in a while. Oh, it's like a public utility, and they're starting to use that bullshit reasoning. And it's funny. It's all these like, yay, capitalism, yay, free market, yay, solution to everything. All of a sudden, turn into a bunch of goddamn socialists and start saying that a private company should do things their way and where they can use their property however they want.
I am a classical liberal, and I say we should nationalize Twitter and YouTube.
But you know what's funny? If they did get their way, then federal laws would apply.
Yeah, and then
you idiots! It's gonna be worse.
Look, man, I get muted on, or not muted, like my account gets restricted like once a week.
Yeah,
like literally once a fucking week.
I've lost count how many times I've been in Twitter jail.
And
I got my
and I'm like,
I got my own cell reserved.
It's annoying. It is, but at the same time, like, okay, sorry, Twitter.
I don't know if you've gotten hip to this too, but it's using like naughty words if you're tweet quoting blue check marks. They automatically do it. I learned that lesson pretty quick.
Oh, I mean, I get followed by a lot of blue check marks and shit. It's usually like it usually happens to me just coincidentally, like after I take a dig at somebody, like a real hard dig at one of these guys, at somebody, at one of the Nazis or one of the,
classical liberals,
whatever, And I had to start tweeting to everybody, leave Carl alone. He's gonna put you in Twitter jail.
Yeah.
You remember when he was on that kick a few weeks ago? Like 2 weeks maybe before he got banned.
When he was like,
I'm gonna.
He was dogging Chrisiosity.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna report you and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks later, he
gets. What got him burned out?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Does anybody know what it was that Carl said that got him kicked off? I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, Black Pigeon Speaks is Canadian, isn't that something?
That's interesting, especially considering some of his views.
Yeah, he's got some pretty shit views on stuff, I gotta say. And I've only seen a few of his videos. Why,
well, don't you know women are destroying Western civilization? I'm like, really?
Yeah, I feel I'm only.
It's all your fault, crazy hair. We all put it. You're destroying Western civilization. Stop doing that.
Totally. Tits out and opinions and man.
Yeah.
All that bad shit.
Women are just horrible human beings. I just can't say that enough, because I can't even pretend to do that.
Well, he's Canadian, doesn't he fall under their, which I don't agree with, but their hate speech laws?
Yeah, there are hate speech laws here.
Yeah. Yeah. It probably would. Like if if anybody knew who he was, because I don't know who he was, and I'm not saying go out and find out. I'm just saying.
Oh, I could care less. The guy's a joke.
I really couldn't care. I don't watch his videos. I've seen a few. When people have said to me, like, check this shit. You're not gonna believe this shit.
Right.
Then I'm like, oh, because I'm like, oh, shiny, and I go.
He was embraced in the so-called skeptics community for a while, but I guess he's been kind of shunted aside.
I don't know. I gotta say, I don't know. I'm so out of the loop now that like
he would. This is like months ago, or even over a year ago. He was always in their streams and shit. So.
What about it? Speaking of crazy PU, what about AIU? Is he still a part of the?
No, I don't know. He's off
around
doing it.
though. He is around.
Yeah.
I saw this really funny video of his just a few weeks ago where he was talking about how Reese, Nightmare Fuel, how Reese is a AIU clone and how he's copying his style and obviously wants to suck his dick and all that. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, and all of this because Nightmare Fuel has an image that like a static image overlaying like women behind him, like putting makeup on in the style of a skull. And so like and AIU steals people's videos of them doing dancing, like dance routines, sticks them in the background of his videos, and he's his little, animal in the front wearing a t-shirt of some kind. And it's like, dude, like, this is not original. None of what you do is fucking original. You speaking, those words are original, but like taking somebody's fucking video, overlaying it with a picture that you photoshopped a t-shirt onto, like, cut me a fuck you. No, it's not, you dipshit.
Yeah, I'm betting that if anybody like had the money to go to take him to trial for that kind of stuff, he'd probably lose.
He even admits it. He admits it in one of him in one part of the video. He goes like, "Oh, this person obviously took dancing from the same dance studio that I take my videos from." It's like, bitch.
It probably would end up being, he probably would end up.
So you're ripping off his original ripping off.
Yeah.
Oh,
that makes sense.
But look, the thing about that stuff is that almost all the cases are really cases of what they call first impression. I think that's what they call it. I forget. And like every case has to be decided on its own merits, right?
Yeah.
People think that like when you say, well, it's for non-monetary purposes only, that doesn't matter actually.
No, it doesn't.
In the courtroom, that really doesn't matter. It matters, I guess, in the public perception of people on YouTube, maybe. But
well, I think it was Campbell Soup tried to sue Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yes they did.
So and they lost because it's all like he made a derivative piece of art that was original, showed it in a different context or something. That was the decision.
Yeah, and it's all the cases in intellectual property cases are really weird. Really, like there's very little consistency, and something that you think, well, they did it though over there. Yeah, that was in another judicial district or whatever. That was, and then it ends up
different circumstances. There's a case in court right now that's arguing that because this guy's, I can't remember. He made art pieces out of some other artist's photos. It's something like that. I'm not describing it completely, but it's kind of like a similar thing. But the thing is, AIU complaining about, oh, well, you yanked the same video I did. It's like, okay, yeah, go ahead and try to sue on those grounds. That's not going to happen.
You stole the same video I stole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made me laugh really hard. And I was playing Fortnite at the time, and I just had to like stop and laugh my ass off.
Wait. I'm sorry. He actually said that? Like, or words to that effect?
Words to that effect, from what she was telling me, at least.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, well, it's free speech, buddy. Free speech.
Yeah, not always,
Yeah,
especially
no,
if you're making money off of it.
well, in theory, that actually is not supposed to matter either, but it does. It does a lot in a lot of cases. Carl's finding that out now.
He defaulted.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that means that. Oh,
So it's going right. It's going right to the damage stage.
wow. There might be. I mean, the judge might knock it down. There's often a.
Oh, there's no award yet. It's just in the beginning.
What?
He didn't.
What?
He
Fill me in. What the fuck's happening?
Oh,
Carl getting sued,
good.
and he defaulted. And so basically, yeah, he just didn't show up to the court. So
What is he being sued for?
Well, Carl.
using what's her name's videos. I can't even. Yeah, if you want to ask the chat who it is, I can't remember.
Aquila always. I don't know. So, Aquila something.
Yeah.
But she makes comedy videos, and as far as I know, not political ones.
No. Well, she's a big feminist. She talks about those issues. Yeah.
So she makes videos or whatever, and Carl took one of her videos and just plopped it right into one of his.
I don't think he put anything on it. I think he just posted it on his channel.
Yeah, I was about to say. Actually, I think he might have just posted it on his channel, and she sued him, and she asked for $100,000 in damages. And he was in the States at the time that the court case was going on, and he could have shown up, right? Or at least in theory, he could have shown up, but he didn't. So that means that he wins because he didn't show up.
Okay.
Well, he defaulted.
Yeah.
So now he can still show up.
Yeah, he can still show up. Now.
He could still have representation show up, but it automatically is in favor of the plaintiff.
Yeah. Now he's got to appeal is the issue, right?
Or be there during the damage phase. Well, obviously with a lawyer, he's not. Yeah, go ahead and go pro se on that, dude. I want to see that shit. That would be hilarious.
I don't think he's gonna read more than like the headline. So anything more than a Sargon long, and he's lost.
Well, here's the thing. I hope he doesn't think he's being a smartass and he goes, "Whoa, I'm in England. Come and collect."
Yeah, it doesn't.
Both Patreon and YouTube are American companies. She could have his income garnished from there.
Yeah. Well, not only that, they generally because England is an ally of the United States. So there are treaties that cover this kind of stuff, right? So it's not like
saying they don't even have to deal with it with English courts. They're American corporations saying, "Here's a court order, garnish his stuff for this X amount."
Yeah, so
maybe he figures he'll just pay it too.
Now I wonder if the actual Nazis, whoever they are, can sue the anarchists for using the red and black logo.
Yeah. They have a trademark. I've trademarked a combination of colors. How about that?
That's right. You know what?
I think one of the diving flags is black and white and red too. So divers are Nazis.
Yeah, it might be. That sounds like something vaguely from the film, but yeah. It's called trade dress. It's actually called trade dress, right? So in the trade that you're in, right, in the business you're in, like if you want to start a video store, right?
Yeah.
You remember how Blockbuster was yellow and blue?
Yeah.
They can actually Blockbuster at that time, right, when they still existed, they could have actually sued you for opening up a video store that with blue and yellow trim.
My university, there was this like crazy shit where they copyrighted the red in their logo, like, so it's called like Brock Red.
Oh,
and if you like, if they find anybody using that specific shade of red, they can sue them for copyright, which is fucked up. Like that you can copyright a color.
Well, yeah, but that like would never like see the thing about copyright and like patent law is that you can pretty much copyright any goddamn thing you want. What the problem is, if anybody actually goes to court and challenges you on it, there are certain things that just aren't gonna make it. And the color, like a single color, is not gonna make it.
Okay, here's something crazy. My friend got threatened with a lawsuit by, okay, imagine cursive, okay? It's L, L. Two L's cursive together, where the end of one L becomes the beginning of the next L, okay? That's copyright by a Toronto ex-rapper or something who makes a line of clothing or something.
Okay.
And her company, which is a PI company, has the initials LL. She's a graphic designer. And so like they made t-shirts with LL as like cursive together. And he threatened them with a lawsuit because he, like, once he found out about her company, he patented LL and then threatened her with that. Like, he sent her a cease and desist.
He trademarked it.
Yeah, but that's fucked up. Like
happen.
cursive LL, really? Like, and you can.
Well, if it's a trademark, yeah, it can happen. Trademarks are a bit different than copyright. Copyright is automatic, at least in theory. But a trademark is exactly what it sounds like, right? It's your identifying symbol in the industry you're in. So you can trademark it, but I don't think that doesn't sound to me like it's infringing on their trademark. It doesn't sound like it. But I'm not a lawyer, right?
Every time I'm out or shopping or whatever, and I see another company that uses that LL, because they're all over the place, I take a picture of the product and send it to my friend, because she has this ongoing like accumulation of all the different companies in North America that use that symbol in case he ever does come after her. Because it's evidence to present in court. Like, look, it's a really common thing that people do. Like, he doesn't get to come after me for that.
Well, possibly. I mean, it's like I said, right? All of these things are really weird. Like trademark and copyright cases are really, really individual, right? And I mean, sometimes the decisions that they come to don't even make sense.
So it's like rediverting back to before. Should we be going to this event in Arizona?
Well, it's free speech. I'm not going anywhere near it. I don't like free speech. I want to make everybody think what I want them to think.
I don't believe that.
No, not really, but but it sounds good though, doesn't it? It sounds authoritarian. It sounds,
fascist.
Like Joe must have a gun. He's gonna enforce that shit, But no, of course not. But I ain't going nowhere near that fucking place. Ugh. I don't want to be I'm sorry. Look, I know that it may be a logical fallacy that you can't say that someone, because they're a part of a group or whatever, they believe all the things that the group believes. Yeah, but I'm a grown-up, right? And I know that if you don't want to get caught up in a dragnet, then don't hang out with the people that are likely to get caught up in a dragnet. So I try not to hang out with questionable motherfuckers. And these motherfuckers.
Well, that logical fallacy, that's for your like Great Hall of Debate type stuff. And then there's reality.
The number one criticism that group had at VidCon was the fact that none of them, and their point of view, were invited to speak at VidCon. So it would be interesting for me to see if people of opposing opinions are allowed to speak at this free speech thing.
When they started it out, a couple days later, a few people, I can't remember who it is offhand, it's like, well, can I go? And they're all like, well, yeah, there was a little bit of that. And then they said, yeah, well, of course you can. Because obviously they'd know they'd look like a bunch of idiots if it was just their little clique. So
The problem is I don't know some of the people that are on that list there, so I don't know what their views are. But the ones whose views I do know vaguely, yeah, it's like an echo chamber. I don't. I don't. Like I said, there are some people whose views I do not know. So maybe those are the ones.
It's
Right.
definitely the entire clique though.
It seems that
it's that little gaggle that all hang around. They kind of produce the same material. Some of them are really whacked out. Like, I'm sorry, Sticks and Hammer. He's all in.
So wait, let me do
on the crazy train. He's the cultural Marxism and.
Okay, so can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
I can.
So
I'm on a mobile,
so we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 first people are all part of that little clique of like one of us says something, everybody agrees, or else you get kicked. Then you've got Rucka, who I met. He seemed like a pretty genuine dude. So I don't know. Like that VidCon was the first time I ever like heard of him. So
I just heard of him now. Like when I looked at this, like yesterday or the day before.
Then you got like Roaming Millennials, like pretty cool in the fact that she will speak to pretty much anybody. Dave Cullen, I wrongfully thought that he was a nice person, but it turns out he's just a social climber like the rest of them. And his number one goal is to not piss off Sargon. So he'll do anything to not piss off Sargon, which is TJ. I'm surprised TJ's going because TJ hates people. Base Mama, I don't know. I don't want to say anything about her because I honestly thought she was a good, like, genuine person when I met her at VidCon, and then I never heard from her since, so I don't know. Take from that what you want. And Nick is actually a cool guy because he stood up for me like one time, but then when I thanked him, he blocked me on Twitter, so take from that what you want. I don't know who this Arthur guy is. Brian is a sweetheart. Hands down, nicest guy you will ever meet. Super genuine. This child, Daniel.
He looks like a baby.
I know.
This child will believe anything his internet friends tell him. Anything. So take that with a grain of salt. Like he's a what's it called? A punchline. He's a punchline on the Drunken Peasants, and they like him. So what does that tell you? Dimitri, have no idea who this guy is, no idea who this Brian guy is, or who this Andrew guy is. Chris, yeah.
He's the
We're just gonna scroll past that little bomb over there. Tim Pool. I actually heard about Tim Pool from the Young Turks. He appeared on one of Anna Kasparian's installments. So I thought it was pretty cool how he got the TYT endorsement, but then again he's also like kind of ruffling feathers with Antifa and such. So that's pretty cool.
No, he's got his nose up InfoWars ass.
I don't think so. I don't think he does. I don't think so.
He's defended them and he pals with them.
He will defend anybody's right to speak. I don't think that.
Yeah, that's all nice and well. I'm not talking about his position on the First Amendment. I'm talking about his activities too. He was the one wandering around in a flak jacket and a Kevlar, talking about the no-go zones in Sweden.
That's right. Yeah.
But he was giving a pretty fair account of the fact that
I'm sorry, he was a bullshit artist. Yeah, but go ahead.
He was saying things like how like he went to this like one place that was deemed a no-go zone and that nothing happened. Like he wasn't sensationalizing things.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say about this, right? Because this has been like a sticking point for me, right? And I'll tell you what, it's a lot like the white genocide thing, right? Some of the white genociders will tell you that governments are forcing people to marry misogyny.
Encourage misogyny. Yeah,
And-
miscegenation.
Yeah, and there's no law anywhere that says this. There's no law anywhere. None. There's nowhere that I have seen and I have checked. There's no nation on earth that has laws that are available online that contain any provision that you're supposed to do this, that this is a legal requirement of some sort, and that it's punishable by some by some term of imprisonment or some fine or anything. That's just not true. And by the same token, there is no law anywhere that says that the police they do their job except on 34th Street, 35th, and 36th.
But we do have to admit to the fact that there are parts of the city, like even in Toronto, if a 911 call comes from Victoria Park in Toronto, the police are very hesitant to go in with one cruiser.
Well, yeah, but there's no I had a job where I was a temp while I was in college, right? And my temp agency would sometimes send me to some of the shittiest places ever. I got sent to a medical recycling facility once, and it's not if I didn't want to go, then I got to quit my job. But I don't get to say, well, yeah, I'm sort of gonna kind of go, but I'm coming in a little late and I'm leaving a little early because I don't really like, being hip deep in medical waste or doing this. No, look, if you're a cop, I get that the job is hard. I know it for a fact. I got family who were cops. But you don't get to say, well, I'm not gonna go there. Don't fucking take the job then.
But you do have to admit to the fact that it is more. It's better to be cautious.
Well, I'm not saying
more than one cruiser.
Oh no, look, I have no problem. Look, I understand completely why the cops will sometimes roll up to a place like Red Hook in Brooklyn, right? And they'll flex because motherfuckers there will take you apart.
Right.
So you got to roll up. You got to roll up a van deep at least.
Yeah, but what we're talking about here is rough areas, and what these people are pushing it with this no-go zone shit is that the Muzzies took over territory, and you can't go in there, and it's bunk.
Right, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, yeah. I don't mind when cops, I know why it's done. I think it's done a lot of times unfairly. I think a lot of times, it's racially motivated in one direction or another. I get that's true too, but I get it. You don't want to roll like my brother was a cop, and he would tell me stories like, yeah, we are doing verticals. What they call verticals is going up and down the staircases in projects, right? And in England it would be council housing, right? Where very poor people live, and a lot of people are in fact involved in some crime or other, whatever. And he would worry that his partner would not be behind him, because you don't know if someone's going to come up behind you, push you down a flight of stairs, and then grab your gun and shoot you, and all sorts of stuff. I get it. So I understand why they go into certain places and act a certain way. Just like I understand why gang members got to do that too, right?
The thing is with this no-go zone stuff is that no-go zones are not just like the evil muzzies, quote unquote.
But it's that they don't exist, right?
Every city has a bad area you shouldn't be in.
Except that it's exactly the cops' job to go into those bad places. So if you don't want to go into those bad places, don't become a cop.
That's what these people are claiming, though, that civil servants, cops, emergency workers, etc., have labeled these places no-go zones and therefore don't go in them, and that they're just wild open zone, and it's just not true.
It's just, look, I tell people all the time, look, there are feminists that tell me, well, it's a patriarchal society, blah blah blah, and I'm like, look,
When they say no-go zones, though, Joe, they're saying no-go zones for people. Like, you shouldn't go there. It's kind of dangerous. They're not saying no-go zones for cops. I mean, Tim Pool was escorted out of one of his quote-unquote no-go zones by the cops.
Because he was disturbing the peace.
But he was there. Like, he's in a zone.
He was the cause of the commotion.
He took a video camera somewhere, taking a video.
If somebody, you know what? If a couple of people, or how many ever people, donning flak jackets and Kevlar started wandering down the street in my neighborhood, I'd be like, "What the fuck? What the hell is going on?" They were the cause of the ruckus.
Look, here's the thing: you can't.
That's not journalism either.
You can't. Here's the thing: feminists will tell me that this country's a patriarchy or whatever, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, tell me why, and then they'll tell me all the cultural shit that happens in there, right? And I'm like, okay, that's horrible, and it shouldn't happen, and all the rest of it. But just like with any place that has laws, if you tell me, that it's a patriarchy, I expect there to be laws like in Saudi Arabia where women are prohibited from driving, or that women,
not anymore. Not anymore, by the way. They can drive now.
Yay! But which is nice. But like, I can't judge by the culture, right? I mean, I can see it, right? And I can agree with you that it's fucked up that women have to wear this kind of clothes, and it's fucked up that this has to happen, and the other thing has to happen, right? But for example, in the United States, when women tell me, well, there's a patriarchy, I would say to them, not really. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I do, and I do understand it's fucked up, and the culture is fucked up. But the laws are not, at least in theory, right? Unfortunately, it's a question of money most of the time. But I can't call it a patriarchy unless it's officially one. I can agree with you on everything that's wrong with it, and say that all these things are patriarchal values, or that they come from that kind of a thought process, or that kind of a social milieu. I can agree with all of that. But if the laws are at least on their face egalitarian, then I've got to go, all right, then you need to change the laws. If you want to affect the change, you need to change the laws, right? I look at the laws first. The laws will dictate where I'm going with, what I think of the society, right? But there are no laws that say that the cops are free to avoid this. And, well, there are people in there, so clearly some people can go. So it's a no-go for some people?
Yes, it's a no-go for some people.
Well, actually, it's not. There's no law that says that Tim Pool cannot.
Okay. Let me stop you, and let me give you an example, and then you can respond to that. Okay.
Okay.
In Israel, in Jerusalem, there is a section of the city. It's like 2 or 3 streets where the super Orthodox Jews live.
Okay.
If you drive down these streets on the Sabbath, so that's from sunset on Friday to the appearance of the 3 stars in the night sky on Saturday night, somebody will throw rocks at your car. There is a large sign. There is a large sign at the entrance of all of the streets that says, if you're a woman and your shoulders aren't covered and you're not properly covered up, so this is unacceptable. Like, I have to be like this if I want to go through that street.
Right.
Or I will be accosted by several religious men saying, whore, cover yourself, you whore. And people have had paint thrown at them, rocks thrown at them. And no, it's not legal to do this, but the police understand that this happens. So the police don't drive down those streets on Friday and Saturday. They don't. Then
they should be fired.
That is a no-go zone for women that are dressed inappropriately and for cars on a specific area, a specific day.
Right, but again,
you're talking about Israel. We were talking about we were talking about Tim Pool dressed up in Kevlar, like
but
he
I'm
was
giving
like,
I'm giving you an experience of a no-go zone that I have like personally experienced. I walked through that street. I
Well-
made sure that I was properly dressed before I went through that because I wanted to go get a sitter. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with that, it's like a Jewish prayer book for synagogue on the weekends.
Okay.
So like,
yeah,
so
but
I
take it up.
So I abided by the rules, even though that's not my normal way of dressing, in order to respect that area, in order to go through it. I don't agree with their way of life at all.
Okay, so you were able to go through it?
Yeah, but I was told by one of the men, "Where is your husband?" And that was kind of fucked up.
Well, yeah, but again, like you could go through it, and you came out the other side, or back to wherever you were going, and there you have it. You can go. Is it prudent to go to these places? It depends. I mean, I know a couple white guys, more than a couple actually, that have no problem being in Harlem in the middle of the night at 2, 3 in the morning because people know that. Does that mean that we can call Harlem a no-go zone for white people or not? Look, unless there's a law, right? I mean, again, laws can be fucked up and misapplied and applied differently and injudiciously to different groups of people, and that's fucked up. But that's why you have movements like the civil rights movement, right? That's why you have those. There is, and so when you say no-go zone, it makes literally no sense unless you're talking about like a ghetto, like a literal Nazi era ghetto, where you would be shot for trying to get out or trying to come in, right? That's a no-go zone. That is sanctioned by the state as a place where only certain people can go. In Sweden, it's not that. In Israel, it's not that. Now, are the people fucked up? Yes, sure, a lot of times. But that doesn't mean that it's that you have no recourse, right? But when you're talking about civilians coming and going, if they can come and go, then it's not a no-go zone. The only way that it makes that it even makes sense to say the word no-go zone is if the police have been ordered not to go, which isn't the case.
So your issue isn't so much with the state of the no-go zones; it's with the naming of the no-go zones.
Well, no, it's not that. It's not in the name. Well, look, you know what? In one way, it is. In one way, to even say that these things exist is to say that they're officially sanctioned. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if some rando tells me, yeah, y'all don't want to be caught dead out there, that doesn't mean shit to me, right? But if the cops say, yeah, you can't come in here, that's where the problem is, right? It's just like when we talk about the First Amendment and censorship. If Twitter decides they don't like you and they don't want you on their platform, that's not censorship. Censorship is when the government does it.
No. That's a violation of the First Amendment. That's something that I really wish that people would differentiate. There is freedom of speech and then there's freedom of expression. When you say freedom of speech, it usually 9 times out of 10 refers to the US government and the First Amendment. Sometimes people use freedom of speech and it's like actual freedom of expression. And freedom of expression should be your ability to voice your opinion in Canada, as long as it does not incite violence or hatred towards a person or group.
Not on a private platform.
On a private platform, freedom of expression should be whatever that private platform decided it should be. But philosophically, in theory, freedom of expression should be the ability to express your
philosophically,
opinion.
we also have a thing calling you have a right to your own property and run it as you like within bounds.
Within the bounds of the law.
What about Twitter's freedom of expression and freedom of association?
Twitter has a freedom of expression and association, but it's become so ingrained in our society that it almost has a duty to its users to...
No.
So,
No.
well,
Yeah.
okay, look.
No.
You're making. I'm gonna do it this way. You're making two arguments, right? And you can. They've been made before, and they're not entirely bad or necessarily wrong. The argument that one of the arguments that you're presenting is the commons, right? And that is to say, right, that like the land that belongs to parks and stuff like that, right, where it's shared by the society, right? And you're saying that Twitter is like a utility.
No, I'm not saying that Twitter is like a utility. I'm saying,
oh no, I'm sorry,
if Twitter wants to remain relevant and it wants to maintain its current really important role in society as a commentary and a way for people to connect, then it needs to do right by its users, and it has a duty to those users to allow a certain level of freedom of expression.
Oh, okay. I meant the royal you before. I didn't mean you specifically. I meant this is the argument that people present.
Mm-hmm.
That this is the philosophical argument, right? It's about the comments, right? It's about being able to hunt or being able, right, on publicly accessible land and so on and so forth. Right? It's the argument that you hear in landlord-tenant court when they talk about access to waterways and so on, right? And it's just part of it is being talked about now when they talk about the DAPL, right? That's one argument that is made, right? The other one, oh my God, I forgot. Terrific. In the past 3 or 4 days, I've forgotten more than I remember.
Mm.
You're getting
Welcome to my world.
really old.
I'm getting really
so old.
I'm getting so fucking old.
Aging is not for the weak.
Aging is not for the weak. That's true. It ends up just making you weak. Oh,
yeah, I think you're. Yeah.
But
what do I want to call you? I don't want to call you crazy. That kind of sounds.
It's Naomi, but crazy. Actually, crazy was on purpose. I chose it on purpose because I knew.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that YouTubers usually end up calling each other by the first part of their name.
Right.
So I chose it on purpose.
Right. It just sounds a little weird.
Yeah, I know. I thought.
I mean, I'll call you crazy if you want. So
because
we're all crazy. We're all crazy anyway.
Naomi's fine. I have a really hard time with people calling me crazy when they have that tone in their voice that's like they're saying it's a pejorative. But I understand, like, Naomi's fine.
Okay. Well, Naomi, you're kind of making these philosophical arguments and like they shoulda, they should do this, they should do that, and maybe in a perfect world, fine. But let's remember something. They're a publicly traded company. The only people they have a legal responsibility to, a fiduciary responsibility to, is their stockholders.
Their stockholders should be interested in them maintaining their current status as the political.
But here's the other thing. How do they make their money? They make their money from advertisers. Advertisers don't like like the adpocalypse.
But the advertisers are not going to stick around if another platform becomes more popular than YouTube or rivals YouTube.
when that bridge is crossed, then we can have that discussion. But for now, just as they're running their company, advertisers are very skittish when you have people like Black Pigeon Speaks or Mouthy Buddha. Or
has he been banned?
I don't know. No, I haven't seen Mouthy Buddha. I'm just using these examples of people taking these very controversial positions. And it becomes also very adversarial. Advertisers shy away from that kind of thing. So that's really having those kind of people, and in all walks too. I think you can, and somebody's actually made the good point because of this decertification thing. Why do you have somebody like Louis Farrakhan on there too? But the thing is, the spotlight isn't on people like Louis Farrakhan right now. It might well be in the future.
And they'll have to do something about that.
But there's a big, because of events like Charlottesville, this white nationalist kind of crapola it's got the spotlight on it right now. And that's what the advertisers are going to see. And advertisers are going to say, well, they don't even want to like when you scroll through your timeline, that's how you see the ads.
Mm-hmm.
And it says promoted, and you can retweet it if you want, blah, blah, blah. Just like a regular tweet, except it says promoted. They don't want to have Black Pigeon Speaks above talking about how women are cunts and destroying Western civilization. And then below their ad have Mouthy Buddha saying, oh, hey, here's my new video about maybe Hitler wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah, not a good look.
Yeah, they don't want that. And that's actually what happened with YouTube too. It's like, we don't want our advertising our product. They spend billions.
It's just that it gets to the point. There is a point at which your platform becomes so popular that you have a responsibility.
No.
Oh, thank you. Actually, let me say, I remember now. The other argument that you're making, Naomi, is this: that is what happened to Kleenex, right? Kleenex was a brand name, or is still a brand name, but they became so popular with their product that when they tried to assert their copyright and their trademark to it in court, they lost because
it had become common usage.
It had become so common, right? Like everybody was, nobody said, "Can I have a tissue?" People were saying, "Can I have a Kleenex?" Right? It became so common that they lost their right, and that's the other argument that you're making, and other people make, and it's not necessarily a bad one, mind you. I'm just saying that's like
okay. Well, and Naomi also made this argument about popularity of your venue. If I have, like Carnegie Hall is because Carnegie Hall is famous. Everybody wants to be there and play there because it'll solidify their career. Are the managers of Carnegie Hall obligated to give the stage to everybody then?
Let me pose a counter hypothetical to you in response to your question. Should Starbucks refuse to allow certain people to talk about their current failing marriages in their coffee shop because they don't want their coffee to be associated with that kind of discussion? Or should they allow any kind of private discussion that is being had between two people that somebody can walk by and hear happen? Like, do they have the right? Should they have the right to walk up to you and say, "We don't like the fact that you're talking about divorce. Can you leave?"
Actually, they can throw them out for that. Yes,
they can. But should they? They can leave.
That's up to the management. If they're being loud and obnoxious about it, yes, you will get 86th.
I feel like
here's another thing too. Yeah, but their conversation isn't being posted or played on audio in every Starbucks in the country, around the world, I should say.
That would be against the law too. But yeah. Let me, before you guys go on, because I'm interested to hear you guys talk about it. Let me make this one point about fiduciary duty, right? You will know that one of the prime causes of the housing meltdown, the housing crisis, right, the housing bubble, was that some companies were bundling these derivatives, right?
Yeah.
And selling them, and they're a bad investment, right? But people were making money off of a bad investment, right? And so and the way they do it is kind of complicated, and it's a pain in the ass to explain. But basically, you're betting against the company, right? That's how that works. And so it's very possible for, say, a company that is publicly traded, or even one that's just privately held, really, for the shareholders' interests to be the destruction of the company. And that happens like all the time. There are people that get called in that this is what they do for a living, right? They work for investment
Yeah,
firms,
liquidators.
and they come in and they basically sell off all of the company's assets. So, if you're a stockholder in XYZ company and you're like you're one of the major stockholders, right? And you have serious influence in stockholder meetings and so on. Your interest may in fact be for Twitter, for example, to fail. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, if you run, I think, what's Nazi Twitter? Gab? It's Gab, right? Is like the Nazi Twitter?
I like Gab. It's cool.
Right, but people call it I'm not saying it is the Nazi Twitter. I'm saying people call it that, right? So that's an alternative to Twitter, right? So what if I own stock in both companies, but I like Gab better, right? Then it's in my interest, or I have a serious stake in Gab. It may be in my interest to fuck up Twitter as badly as I can, so that it ends up in the hands of a liquidator. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying,
Yeah,
but that's a very extreme hypothetical.
Not really.
Actually, it could also be illegal.
It could.
When I talk about fiduciary responsibility, I mean that the stockholders as a class can sue you. Yeah, can sue you if because you made bad decisions that you knew would adversely affect the stock price.
But again, right? It's really not that uncommon. If you go through some of the financial news in the past,
some of what you're talking about could be possibly illegal too.
Yes, it could be, but
under speculation laws.
Under speculation, yeah. But again, I mean, it is what drove the housing crisis, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not uncommon. It's actually not like an extreme.
I don't think that's gonna. Well, here's how a more reasonable hypothetical would work out as far as fiduciary responsibility. Let's say that the CEO and the board like what Naomi's saying. It's like, yeah, we're going to do it that way, and then their advertisers flee, and their quarterly earnings go, and then the stock goes.
Yeah.
The stockholders as a class are going to sue the shit out of the board for that stock loss.
That can happen, yeah.
So what I'm saying is it's actually in the leadership's interest to suck ass on the advertisers. That's where your money's going.
No. I agree. I agree. I'm saying that very often there are competing interests, right? So
there can be. Then there's proxy battles, and if there's different factions in the stockholders, that shit happens all the time, and hostile takeovers, and that's kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, and hostile takeovers are usually legal, right? So even if distasteful for the people being taken over and so on, but so it's not it's not as simple.
Well, my point with the free speech thing is where the conflict is, where of principle here is the fiduciary responsibility to the stockholders, and that's what the CEOs of Twitter is going to do.
Well, I just want
unless they suffered a severe head trauma injury,
which nowadays
one days, yeah. I'm saying that's why you're running up against this, and I've heard what Naomi's saying, and in principle, yeah, sure. I'd love to run a site like that myself, but I've got to pay my bills.
One second, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a how do I put it? It's more.
That's what the conflict is.
What?
That's what the conflict is.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's
and also and people make this mistake. They feel like they're in YouTube, like the channel holders and the people who are tweeting the tweets, they're not the customers.
Yeah, they're not.
They're the product. They're the content providers.
Yeah. It's about I think it's I think it's Peter Coffin that calls it that mentioned this to me first. That it's that what you're selling is or what the currency is attention. So the people that are on are the ones that, right? When I tweet, I like tweeting with people that I know. That's cool, and you know, trolling assholes is kind of cool too sometimes.
Right.
But I you know, if I had 20,000 more followers, that'd be good for me, right?
Right.
If I had, you know, 100,000 more subs, that'd be good for me.
Yeah,
And
well, that would be more coverage and more revenue for you if you're monetizing your shit and
yeah,
using Twitter to blast that out. Sure.
yeah. And so I, you know, I even get the pressure that some of these guys are under, right? I get it, you know, and that's one of the things, and that's where the other tension is, right? Uh, like where you have
Oh,
to
I
go,
shouldn't say they're the product. Their content is the product. They're third-party vendors, is what I should say.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Um, but I get that like, because I don't do this for a living, right? Like I
Right.
have to work, like I do stuff online. I keep websites and I draw stuff, and you know, every so often someone will ask me for uh uh like consultation or something, and I'll make a couple extra bucks doing that.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't do this for a living. So I understand that these guys have this pressure to pander, right? Because the more you pander, the more money you make. But the thing
Yeah,
is,
give the people what they want,
what they
whatever
want.
audience, whatever demographic you're appealing to.
And I'm only like half kidding when I say I should start a religion. You know,
Oh yeah, like L. Ron Hubbard said,
yeah, I mean,
fuck getting paid a penny a word. I'm gonna start a religion.
yeah, and he said it, right? He said it.
Yeah.
That's how you really you want to get paid. Start a religion. Um, so I'm only half joking when I say that shit, because look at it's these personality cults, right? I mean, what's that guy with the teeth? That tall guy with the teeth, the self-help guy. I'm not your guru. I forget who the hell it is. What the hell is his name?
Oh, Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like a religion. I mean, it's, you know, it's not a religion, but it
Yeah,
actually,
you pander. People want to feel good about themselves. They want
right.
to feel like they can something to control their lives. They're gonna hand over money for it.
And the truth is that the way I see it, I see that the manosphere, right, generally speaking, right, not all of them, obviously, not all, hashtag not all, right?
Yeah.
They have found their Messiah, or at least a lot of them have, in Jordan Peterson.
Oh, not just the manosphere, like the trad cons and
Yeah, the trad cons,
yeah.
and some of the white nationalists too. But yeah, you know, so I get it that, you know, but then, you know, that runs into, are you being a genuine, you know, and again, I don't even know if that's a good argument to make, right? Well, you
Yeah.
don't believe what you, so what? So what? Isaac,
Yeah, you're selling a product, you're selling an image, and people are buying it.
yeah, I mean, Isaac Asimov, I'm sure, does not believe that there are aliens out there. You know what I'm saying? He's selling
Yeah.
the product, and you like the product, and you want them. Okay, you know, but I don't know that it's a that the
Well,
argument.
he was a fiction writer, so but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he doesn't believe it, right? And
Right.
there are people that write nonfiction and they don't believe it, and they write what they're told to write. I've written things for.
Oh, look at the self-help industry. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, and look, and the diet industry, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
another
look,
one.
if there was a fucking diet that fucking worked for everybody, there would be no diet in industry.
Right.
It would disappear. So they're not selling you health or less weight. they're selling you what you want to hear.
Right.
So I'm not saying it's right to do that, but I am saying that I understand when people don't do it. Right? I get Carl. I understand his ass. He's not that, he's not that complicated.
No.
He's like P.T. Barnum.
Oh, pretty much. Well, I've noticed he's been a windsock too. He puts his finger in the wind before he talks. So,
and and they're going with the white
but here's the other thing too, and I don't know if I've discussed this before with you, but becoming a prisoner in your own palace. All of these people like TJ, Carl, whatever. You become a prisoner in your own palace.
Yeah. Well, Carl's taking shit for a few videos here and there where he doesn't adhere.
Well, what I'm saying, he's a prisoner of his audience now. Yeah. He has to dance the way they want him to dance and sing the songs that they want him to sing.
Yeah, I tweeted at him before.
That is something. That is kind of the reason. I'd love to have a cool little podcast where I just talk shit like we're doing right now, and having a nice little audience. But I could never pander.
That's the thing.
I just can't do it.
And that doesn't work in a capitalist system. It doesn't, right? Because
it can work, but you're not really gonna grow that much.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if you don't pander, like I don't pander to anybody.
No,
even though
I just can't do it.
Even though the website is like leans left, right? Even though the articles that I pick to put on the website lean left, and the channels that
that just probably reflects your values.
But that's a reflection of what I think is important, right? And every so often I put in articles that are on the right, just because I think, you might want to know this.
Yeah.
But the idea that you can be on YouTube, like, look, YouTube is not, well, it is now, right? It is a career for some people. So I get it, but the problem, I think part of the problem is MTV's Real World. That's what
the reality TV effect.
So like I get what Blair White did to Crazy Hair. I think it's fucked up, and I wouldn't, and I don't even think I could do that. But I get it.
What's the old saying? Never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
She's not here. I'd give her that line.
And then
never meet your heroes.
Yeah, because it's a thing, right? I mean, she ran a
Blair White conniving. I'd stay the hell away from her, man. That got there's flags all over the place. If I was like, oh look, it's Blair White down, I'd be walking in the other direction.
Yeah, in the other direction. Yeah. But I get it. Yeah. You wanted more money. And how?
That's the other element too. The special unicorn play. Like black, you get a black person that's a conservative. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you rebrand yourself in some way, or you.
It's all like I'm transsexual, but I'm this conservative person, and I actually don't like other transsexuals. That's special unicorn.
Yeah. Like if I turned around tomorrow and said, "No, I had this epiphany, and I was hit by a car, and my last flashed before my eyes, and now I'm born again. Jesus saved me." And
right.
I spent like a year attacking atheists and shit. Then and all
exactly.
Be like, "Oh my God, look at that! See that's Jesus."
You'd be a special unicorn for him, a guy who was an atheist who now believes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I understand like how to do it, but I kind of like my regular job where I get to. I guess that's what keeps people poor, though, right? You ever notice how the rich people?
There's a price. Yeah, there's a price to pay for that shit, though, man. Even fame, all fame. There's a price to pay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Your life's not yours anymore. That's what I was saying. Prisoner in your own palace.
Right. That's what like when the Hollywood stars are like. He was taking pictures. He was hanging in a tree and taking pictures of of my titties hanging out at the pool. Like,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why they pay you $10 million a movie. That's
Yeah.
why. You didn't do anything special. Oh, so you work 12 hours a day. Oh, like most people do.
Right.
You
Well,
know.
it's actually the actual work itself isn't as easy as it looks, but
Well, no,
that's
but I mean, like, within the realm of difficult jobs, right?
yeah.
Like deep sea divers get paid because they put their lives at risk and they do, all these other things. But no
Right.
one knows who the fuck they are. But you get paid because people recognize your face.
And you're a product.
Right. People pay. You get paid what you get paid because you're famous. You
Right.
can't be famous without motherfuckers hanging from a tree taking pictures of your
Oh, well,
titties.
that's what all these other and people on YouTube would complain too, because for everybody, there's going to be the people who cheer you,
Yeah.
and then there's going to be the people who are going to throw the tomato.
Yeah.
And
That's well,
they
yeah.
love the cheers, but when it
But
comes to the tomato, all of a sudden it's so unfair.
and
It's like,
so
no, that's the price.
yeah, and so but the thing is, right? It's like that's where you get shit like this. The title here, right? The red and black theory of Nazism. I mean,
Jesus
I
Christ.
I could be I could be famous if I decided to say some really outrageously stupid shit too.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the thing.
And it's a little bit of luck that goes
Well,
along
yeah,
with it too, because Carl started out. It was just this little incident called Gamergate. He was really a nobody at that time.
yeah, he was a nobody.
So he took advantage. A lot of other people took advantage of that. So that was his lucky break.
Yeah,
So he
and
did take advantage of it, and he made the decision. It's all like, do I go for the shekels or do I go for the principles? And he took the shekels. Now he's got to live with it.
well, yeah, that's true too. That's true.
Yeah.
You cannot escape that. That is the job. The
Yeah.
job is to take shit from people who don't like you. The job is
Well, not
right.
just that, but conform
and
to the product. Yeah.
and to conform to what your customers are paying you for.
Right.
And
On
so
your Patreon, or what gets you to be subscriptions, views actually is the
well,
thing.
now it's not. Now after the apocalypse, it's just that, right? So
Right. I think that shit gonna calm down though.
what the apocalypse stuff?
Yeah.
No,
I've seen it come in waves, but
well,
whatever.
this is like a moral panic in part, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're legit issues, of course, but people have.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the advertisers that drive it. So
Well, the
their
advertising,
panties get in a wad.
and
Shit's gonna change because they'll take their ad dollars anywhere. That's what I was trying to say, man. These people, corporations, companies, whatnot, they spend millions, billions for their image. So they're very sketchy with how their products viewed.
and with you'd think that someone like Dove, apropos of nothing really, but did you see that Dove scandal, the Dove soap thing?
Oh, where white girl turned into a black girl.
Back, by the way.
Hi.
I'm sorry, what?
It was ridiculous. That
Yeah, I know the ad you're talking about. That
Like
that was. Go ahead.
that, and then there was another one just after that too. Actually, where they had some product or other that on the label it said for normal skin or something, and it had a picture of a white lady, and a lot of people lost their shit for that too. What do you mean normal? Like brown people, black people aren't normal. So yeah, you'd think that with all the money they spend, man, on this, on how they look to people, that they would not make this kind of mistake. because it was a mistake for them for sure. Are you guys still alive?
Even the model on that ad said that it was really no big deal.
Did she? I didn't follow it. I only saw like the.
Yeah, the black model came out and she's like, it's just like, she said, a black woman turns into a white woman turns into a black woman, turns into an Asian woman. Like the whole ad is pretty cool. Like she didn't understand like why people were freaking out about it.
No, it's out in culture.
We're in this hypersensitive period with when it comes to matters of race.
Well, not just race, but identity.
Identity.
You know, it's not just it's not just one group. It's all of them, right? And like I had this lady on Twitter was, complaining to me that Woolie's a bigot, right? And yes, I'm gonna white knight for my wife. Of course I am. Fuck that. And
Why? What happened?
Oh, she tried to play the race card, is what it was. She said, you're a bigot.
Based on what?
Her being like part non-white, right? Somehow.
Yeah.
He wasn't specific. But
what did Wooly say to incur this wrath?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
Wow.
It was something about Dave. It was something about the.
I did see something about. I have Dave Cullen muted on Twitter, so you're gonna have to fill me in on what happened.
Oh, she tweeted about the Kilroy event thing, and somebody complained that she was a bigot or something, and I'm like, well, based on that argument, then yeah, you probably shouldn't make that argument. Because she married a brown dude and had a half brown kid.
Half braids.
Miscegenation. You're miscegenating.
She's a race traitor.
Yeah.
We're working on the white genocide just slowly. Little by little. Baby
Everybody has to do their part.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Collectivist bastards. They can't stop.
Oh, what was it? I actually had one of these, anti-SJW, whatever, getting up in my grill about something. And I said, like, he said something dumb, and I'm all like, hold up there, coachies. And he's all like, oh, isn't that racist? And I was like, no.
Is it just me? Or has that become like a major theme of late? From the anti-SJWP.
What's funny is I'm not an SJW or however that word is connotated.
Yeah, I say
I'm not this hypersensitive weenie that every little slight is a major issue.
Well, if the people,
I'm a crude motherfucker anyway, so
the people that follow me, if the people that follow me on Twitter and on YouTube here, and
the guy who tried this was an anti-SJW. He's one
but I mean, but like on my, those people would never say that I'm like a feminist or an SJW or something. Like they would be like, that nigga's racist. He's one of those racist motherfuckers.
He's going to be in front of the line at the re-education camp.
Yeah, because I don't, I really don't hold my tongue.
No, I don't either.
I try to be a little nicer to people if they're nice to me. And generally, most of the feminists and the SJW people are nicer to me than the anti-SJW people. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I have no idea why. But yeah, if they heard it, they would tell you, "No, he's not. No,
Yeah,
he ain't us."
That's what's funny, people. When I do get accused of, "Oh, you're an SJW," it's like, man, I was on their shit list before you even knew what that word
was.
meant. Yeah.
Before that name was a thing, they didn't like me.
Me too. Honestly,
people like Steve Shives and stuff, and they're still wary of me too, eh?
Well, they're actually smarter than they look then.
Some of them were, yeah, they are. Some of them were, some of them were really nice people. I really
Yeah.
like Christy when she's really nice. She's polite and well spoken, and she's not a dick.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are like that. But some of them are a little more hardcore. Some of them are like, men are slime. Like, what did I do? Well, you're complicit.
Here's one of my favorites too, and I'm not slamming this. This is not all. Hashtag not all. But I call them sugar and spice feminists.
Yeah.
And it's they believe that women are virtuous by the fact of being women. Those really get me too. I'm so like, really? Because they're all like, oh well, if women were in control, if half of the offices in this country were occupied by women, we wouldn't be having these problems. It's all like, really now?
I gotta say, like the anti-Hasidic, I don't know if I'm not important enough for people to talk about me,
Right?
But if you've heard stuff about me that like paints me as an SJW, trust me, they don't really like me if they knew me, and I don't, But the same goes the other way around too, right? I'm that asshole that talked to Carl and he got mad at me.
I remember that. That was epic.
Everything is fucking black and white with some of these people. It's like either you're in our camp or you're not in our camp. You can't be in our camp and disagree with us a little bit unless you've been approved by the higher ups, kind of like how Mouthy Buddha was approved by the higher ups, so he's allowed to disagree.
But
you're talking about who are the higher ups in this case with Mouthy Buddha?
I guess Daddy Jeff.
Jeffy.
Well, did he learn his lesson yet with that asshole?
Daddy Jeff, Senpai Carl Benjamin.
Awesome.
Mommy June and Mommy Blair White.
Oh God, that's creepy. Because like,
thank you for creeping me the hell out. So much for sleep tonight.
I have a teenager.
It's like if you don't fucking like toe the line with those people, you're fucked. It's like you're on the outside. You're done. And that's why people turned on me and made that shit up. That's why boring Matt chased me around the internet for the longest time, yelling like liar, because he said something very unbecoming.
You're talking about Matt Jorbo?
No, yeah, boring.
Yeah.
He
never has someone aptly named themselves. Sorry.
And he was like, oh, you're lying. You came to me. I didn't come to you. I'm like, dude, like you still fucking like said the shit that you said. Like you still said that their behavior does not surprise you. Like you still said that it doesn't matter like who approached who. I'm like, I remember you came to me, but you know what? Whatever, you remember it differently. That's cool. You do you. And like if they do not fall within senpai and mommy and daddy's like step, they're fucked. And it's terrible. It's disgusting.
Well, that's just how a clique operates, but it sounds like they got too many queen bees though.
June and Blair talk about how they're besties all the time, so I think it's going to be fine.
Well, did you guys hear, apropos of nothing, that apparently Blair White's boyfriend doxed somebody? Did you? I don't know any of the
details. You hear what?
I didn't get that. Yeah, I didn't hear.
That Blair White's boyfriend doxed somebody.
Oh, I just saw that somewhere on my lines in my stream, and I was just like, "Oh, that's nice." I didn't know about who was he supposed to have doxed?
I have no idea. No, I'm asking because I have no idea.
I didn't delve into it. That whole fiasco with her setup in the video, it's like, "Oh, I broke a nail." And my attitude towards that is because I quote tweeted it, and I said, "Where's the police report?" Oh, it wasn't important enough for you to file a police report and your injuries weren't important enough for you to get medical care? then it's not important to me.
Oh,
Dismissed.
with the thing with the okay, yeah. That well, again, that's one of those things, right? One of those fishing for dollars.
Yeah. It would be like me going into an Irish pub and singing God Save the Queen at the top of my voice. Of course I'm going to get my ass kicked.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. No.
Not a good idea. Yeah. It's all like, was that guy right for doing that? No. But you put yourself there. She crossed a police barrier too. So the cops are saying, don't go over there.
Don't break the law.
She ignored their warnings. They put up they went through the effort of putting up barricades, and you're like, fuck that. I'm going to get up and it's edited too. I want to know what she said and her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
So dollars to donuts. They were fucking, hey, fuck you. I'm wearing a MAGA hat. What you going to do about it, bitch? Something along those lines.
Well,
I think
the thing about provocation is that, right? I mean, here's another one where like me and a lot of feminists part company. I am, I have daughters, and yeah, I tell them, yeah, look, if you're gonna go out, right, to a place where, like, to a nightclub or to a party where you don't know the people there, yeah, you don't go with your freaking boobs hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't care.
And have situational awareness.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Teach them situational awareness.
I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm not. But I am saying that you need to be careful because the world isn't a nice place all the time.
Yeah. And that's not making an excuse for anything either. That's just fucking common sense.
Yeah.
Be aware of what's going on around you.
I'm a guy and I do it. I'm a guy. I lived in New York the majority of my adult life, and I don't like going down to Lexington Avenue and 123rd Street at 3 in the morning.
I ain't going up hanging out on Harry Hines in my neighborhood either at odd hours.
I've been there, I've done that, but I don't like it. And I'm a guy, and so it's not about sexism. It's about keeping your head attached to the rest of you.
Yeah.
And so
almost like a no-go zone, Joe.
Almost, but not.
Almost, but not quite.
You can't. You know what I mean? Almost, but not. It's that no-go zone stuff.
Well, it's the same thing as saying, don't go into those places and flash cash.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
you don't do that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's safe in every place you go.
Well, if I say that, it's like, yeah, man, don't be flashing your wad in this neighborhood. Does that mean that I'm approving of robbery or robbery culture? No, I'm giving you common sense tips. I'm like giving you a heads up.
The thing about it is that a lot of young people today seem to have this fixation with how the world should be rather than how it actually is.
Yeah.
Right? It's like this free speech crap. People tell me, I've seen them. Online, they tell me all the time, yeah, I'm a free speech absolutist. You're a moron.
Yeah. And I just say, that's nice, but go ahead and try to play your electric guitar full blast in the library and tell me about that.
Divulge state secrets. Go ahead. Let's see what happens. Right? If you're a lawyer, tell me what your client told you today.
Yeah.
Right? There's no such thing as absolute anything.
Nope.
Right? And I see these people and I'm like, look, I understand what you want. I understand what you're thinking. I would like it to be that way too.
Well, the thing is, they understand those limitations, but they're all like, I want it absolute, but I'd never do that stuff either. So, yeah.
But
or they think that free speech absolutism means you have a right to an audience. You have a right to be heard.
Listen to me.
A right to speak. You don't have a right to be heard.
And I get it. But the world isn't, and that's one of the things that vexes me about the nice people, especially the Canadians.
Those damn Canadians, man.
Like
I don't trust him. Damn it.
Yeah, no, you can't trust anybody that nice.
Yeah, something's wrong.
there's something wrong. I get it. The world should be this, but it isn't. And too many, you know, I would tell my daughter if she wanted to go to VidCon or one of the other conventions, right? One of the other YouTube conventions, or the ones that get advertised all over the place on YouTube. I would tell her, yeah, well, I mean, who's going to be there? Oh, my favorite YouTubers. You don't go. Don't go. It's not a good idea. You know what? Here's a ticket to New York. Go to Manhattan. Hang out on 123rd Street. It's safer.
It was pretty safe at VidCon. The only issue was that it was honestly like a group of 30 people. I'd say no more than 30.
Well,
and
yeah.
VidCon is huge. Fucking Logan Paul or whatever his name is, like, started a fucking mob riot in the lobby. Like, that was dangerous.
Yeah. But I mean, they command these basically what amount to armies of idiots who will believe whatever they're told. And I can't hear you.
They're there just to be in the group too. It's like
the thing is that talk about fiduciary duty, right? I mean, you have at least morally a duty to not propagate, slanders and other lies about people on your channel, if for no other reason than of the 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 people that listen to you, one of them might be that crazy motherfucker that puts on a diaper, drives halfway across the country to shoot you in the face.
Yeah.
I don't think people should live in fear of that kind of thing. Like, that shouldn't stop you from voicing your opinion.
I don't think you should live in fear of it, but I do think that you should be aware that this does every so often, not often, but every so often does happen.
By that logic, then, like, former believers and followers of the religion of Islam should avoid speaking out, because there could be the possibility of
Well, no. What I mean is, like, when they target a person. Yeah. Dude, I can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you're really muffled.
Yeah, no, I don't mean like speaking out against an entire religion where you don't single out one individual or something. But I mean, like, if you have a YouTube channel, right, and you have 500,000 followers, it's perfectly fine to make a video criticizing Anita Sarkeesian, for example, right? But like, for example, there was this one girl who worked at a store, and somebody took a picture of her and posted it to their fucking 500,000 followers, and so she had to stop working for like a week or two, coming to find her because she was a feminist. But, well, not even because she was a feminist, but because her T-shirt said feminist on it, because like her job told her to wear that as the work unit.
Yeah. But in all fairness, and let's be fair, Carl did apologize, saying he did not. This is why I actually believe that he is truly a good guy. Is that he didn't realize the kind of power, I guess, that he has from posting something like that on Twitter.
No way.
Why? Why no? Why no?
Because then I would have to assume that he's a complete moron. Like, I mean, like a literal, like an imbecile.
Maybe it's more of like a naivete.
I don't know. After 3 years of being on YouTube, naivete at that level is.
I'm pretty fucking naive. Like, I'm pretty fucking naive. Like
Yeah,
I'm
but
evaluating it from my perspective.
okay, but you're not an imbecile. And I mean that like in the literal sense, like your IQ isn't like 40 or 50.
Hey
You
guys,
know,
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
You know,
I'm gonna have to take off. It's
all right, man.
Betty by time. I'm glad. Thanks for inviting me, and nice chatting with you, Naomi, too.
Yes.
I found it very enjoyable.
Nice talking again.
All right.
All right,
Take
have
care.
a good night, dude. Take care. I don't know. Look. I hate to sound like an old crotchety bastard, but if you weren't taught this as a child, your parents failed you. And if you didn't bother to learn this as a young adult, then you're an imbecile. I mean, how you cannot say, at least to me, and for me to believe you, right? You can't get me to believe that you complain about something that you claim is a worldwide thing, like say feminism, right? So you complain about how horrible feminism is and how horrible these people are, and they have no moral values, and they're not good people, and you can't trust them, and they're not nice, and they'll do anything to anyone, and they'll stab each other in the back, and they'll stab you in the back, and they'll treat you like shit, and then tell me, I think people are nice, and I really didn't know that some people were going to be mean, and unless you're an imbecile. Unless you
I guess
believe,
I'm an imbecile then.
oh,
No, because
oh,
here's the thing. Okay, I cross post between my personal Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram all the time. So let's say I'm somewhere and I'm enjoying something and I take a picture of it. I don't think to myself like, oh, I wonder what will happen to the people in this photo if a mob on Twitter gets a hold of them. I think like, oh, this is something cool that I'm doing. Like I want to tell my internet friends and real life friends about it.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
online. And so like maybe, and I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I want to be better than the way that people are treating me. I give people the benefit of the doubt, and I want to believe that he just posted it thinking like this is an interesting thing that happened to me today. Not a go find her.
Well, that seems still like what you described you as doing. That seems just naive, right? And I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm not trying to, put you down or nothing. Young people, and you're like to me, you're young, right? Um, they do like to believe that their friends are, decent people and all the rest of it. And I understand that. But if your job, like your literal livelihood, is demonizing a group of people, even if you believe it, right? Especially if you believe it. If you believe that those people are bad, but that your group does not contain any bad people at all.
Nobody would believe that, Joe. Every group of people has bad people in it.
Well, but that's my point.
But you
If
don't go
believe it,
around through life like believing like, oh, something bad might happen when I do this because there's bad people that follow me.
well, people do that all the time with everything else. So again, you're stuck in this kind of a thing where naivete is one thing, but if you can't apply the lessons you've learned about human beings, especially about human beings, right? Because we all know human beings somewhere. If you can't apply those lessons to other things, to other circumstances, right? Then you have
But
a
what was your issue with the feminist T-shirt picture?
oh, I didn't even see the picture. I just don't believe at all that he accidentally posted it. You don't accidentally post something.
Accidentally post it.
Well, actually, that's what he said.
But what he said was he didn't realize the repercussions of posting something like that.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all. And by the way, keep in mind that he's a self-professed troll, right? So he does this provocative stuff on purpose.
I wish I knew for sure if Carl Benjamin was actually a good person, like the person I met at VidCon, or if he's just a fake good person, like what I met in the other people.
Well, look, here's the thing, right? Here's the problem that we all face, and not just on one side or the other. Everybody faces this. What's in your mind is not transparent to me, right? I cannot ever possibly definitively rule out the notion that maybe, this person maybe calls just really, 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 really stupid. Maybe he is, and maybe he doesn't, and because of that, he doesn't realize what he's doing, right? I can't definitively, right, 100% get there. But science doesn't get 100% anything anyway.
No, but it science in lieu of a different word to use for it, or a different phrase, I should say, it proves beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right, and that's okay. Yeah.
Science is it's statistically significant.
Right. Okay. So it's a reasonable conclusion that he knew exactly what he was doing. That's what I'm trying to get at, right? It's not 100%, no, but it's reasonable. It's eminently reasonable based on what the content the guy makes and the attitudes he has and the opinions he expresses and the job that he has and even the titles of the videos that he picks, right? Or the subjects that he picks to do videos on. It's reasonable to conclude that he knew what he was doing and he did it for the money, right? For the notoriety, for the drama, right? It's unreasonable to think that he didn't know. And again, that's one of those things that falls into the category of naivete. But if after, you're presented all this stuff, right? And I'm not even trying to be biased, right? I get that a lot from a lot of these guys. It's like, well, it's like the whole thing where it's like, you call everybody you know a Nazi, you like a Nazi. Like, no, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think you're a Nazi or a Nazi sympathizer or whatever, right? I don't think you're a neo-Nazi or white nationalist. I don't think that. I also don't think that a lot of people are that. But you have a self-selected group of people on YouTube, right?
I want to stay and continue this, but I do have to run and do something real quick.
Oh, okay.
If you want to talk about something, I will come back.
Alrighty. I tell you what, it's getting kind of late too.
Yeah, you do have to take care of kids in the morning too.
Oh, they're all asleep now, but yeah, I got to wake up early to get them to school. So I am going to go have supper, and then I'm going to go to Dojo to bed. For those people who are not Canadian or from Quebec, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to Dojo, and I will tweet at people in the morning. Or, well, not in the morning probably, but you get the idea. Now run along and do something worthwhile. Not you, I mean them, like the people in the chat or whatever. Go do something important.
Good night, Joe.
Good night, Naomi. It's good talking to you.